Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. Stand up for your country. Now, most journalists, pundits, reporters are not framing the FBI Trump situation properly. This is Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. That's what this is. And it's a cage match. And one of those men are going to lose badly. So, President Biden did not have to allow, and that's the proper word, the Justice Department and the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago. He didn't have to do it. He could have said, do it another way. And of course, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, would have to listen to him. But Biden didn't. I don't know why. I don't know if he knew about it. I don't care. By allowing the raid, worldwide exposition, he basically said we're attacking, and that is the proper word, a former president of the United States. Game on, as the cliche goes. Now, Trump himself was caught by surprise. I know that. He was given a few hours heads up it was going to happen, but he didn't know with any kind of certainty that the FBI was going to raid his pad in Palm Beach. He did not know that until a few hours before it happened. So now Trump is in discussions with his so-called advisors and attorneys about how to handle this. Number one, does he have any legal risk? I don't know. Don't know what he has. No one does. All right? And number two, if he does not have any legal risk as Russian collusion, remember, Trump pounded, I didn't do anything there. And he was right. If Trump does not have any legal risk here, then he uses this to destroy Biden and the Democratic Party. That's what's going to happen. It's an either or. Now, the Talking Points memo is basically an update on this cage match. So the Department of Justice says now it is not going to release the affidavit that led to the raid. Let me explain this so everyone understands it, because I'm getting thousands of pieces of mail and people do not understand. Here we go. A warrant is a request to search, usually, a home, a car, a person. That request has to be signed by a federal judge or magistrate. The judge will only sign the warrant if there is a sworn affidavit of accusation. Somebody tells law enforcement, so-and-so has 10 tons of cocaine in his basement. I saw it. Here's my name. I swear it happened. FBI raids and looks for the 10 tons of cocaine. We got it? Two portions of that. There's the warrant, which allows the FBI to go in. There's the affidavit, which tells the judge yes or no to sign the warrant. We all have it. The DOJ has released the warrant, but it's nothing. It's basically, hey, we're going to go raid looking for documents that may be classified, that we believe are in Trump's home. Okay? But the affidavit, the person who made the accusation that Trump illegally took classified documents out of White House, they're not going to put that out. We don't know what happened. Okay? So, today, there was another statement by the Justice Department. Put it on up. Quote, if disclosed, the affidavit would serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigation, providing specific details about its direction and likely course in a manner that is highly likely to compromise future investigative steps, unquote. So we're not going to tell you who's accusing Trump. Legally, they can do that. Here's Trump's response. Quote, there is no way to justify the unannounced raid of Mar-a-Lago, the home of the 45th president of the United States, who got more votes by far than any other sitting president in the history of our country, by a very large number of gun-toting FBI agents and the Department of Justice. But in the interest of transparency, I call for the immediate release of the completely unredacted affidavit pertaining to this horrible and shocking break-in. Also, the judge on this case should recuse unquote. So Trump and his people want to know who's accusing him. Right? Wouldn't you? Now, under the Constitution, if some formal charges are filed against Trump or you or me or anybody else, we have a right to know who's accusing us. But if charges are not filed, then they can keep it anonymous. So Trump's not going to win this in a court of law. However, drastic action by the federal government requires a precise explanation. This was drastic action. And now the people don't know why. So, millions of Americans say we're living in a police state. That's what we're doing. The FBI is corrupt, doing the bidding of Joe Biden and the Democrats. That's what they're saying. You know it. You may be saying it. That corrodes confidence in this country. Does Garland and Trump care? Does Garland and Biden care? Doesn't seem like they do. Doesn't seem like it. Now, they could give us a lot more. They don't have to give a name on the affidavit because that person would be in danger. Somebody might kill that person. But they could say, this is where the person worked or something like that. Give us clarity a little. Now, in the raid, the FBI took Trump's passports illegally. That was not in a warrant. Norah O'Donnell on CBS Evening News reported that wasn't true. The FBI did not seize Trump's passport. Ms. O'Donnell made a mistake. They did, and they have given Trump back the passports. Now, my question is, what's CBS News going to do about this? And tomorrow we'll see. We'll see if they do a big segment tonight on the broadcast. But just to tell you, you can't get honest information in this country any longer from television news. You cannot. Okay, final thing. This whole FBI Trump situation is a game breaker for the Democrats. Trump can get this case thrown out. I'm sure his lawyers know it. Even if there are some documents that shouldn't be in his basement, and they found them. Because this whole thing was not done by the letter of the law, as we told you last night. The FBI made serious mistakes in this raid. So if you're a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member, you can go back and look. But the FBI should have sent in an advance team to see if there were attorney-client privilege documents, if there were stuff that they were not entitled to see. They did not. Trump get the whole thing thrown out. Whole thing. If this ever got to the Supreme Court, for example, the court would throw it out. So Garland, and I guess he's not even smart enough to understand this, his case is shot right now, legally. Shot. Not going to happen. Even if there are documents there. And the final thing is in November, if this continues the way it's going now, there's going to be a ferocity, a backlash against the Democratic Party that has never been seen in this country. Because people are angry. They don't trust the federal government any longer. And they're going to take it out on the party in power. That is a memo. All right, Jill Biden has COVID. I'm sorry. She has to stay in South Carolina. She had 2 vaccinations, 2 boosters. She got it. As you know, her husband got it twice. So Joe Biden came back to D.C. today, the president, signed the Inflation Reduction Act, and then immediately headed off to Delaware for more vacation. It's all right. It's August. I'm working, but he's not. Extreme heat. It's hot. So you know it if you live in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Florida, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Iowa, Indiana. It's hot. Death Valley, highest temperature, 122. This affects about 100 million people. We haven't had any blackouts that I know of, any big ones. That's good, obviously. But extreme heat being felt right now across the country. And it's worse in Europe. In Spain, you cannot air condition below 80 degrees or they'll arrest you. Whoa. Because they don't have the power over there. Now, the continent of Europe is melting, but not Ireland. Ireland's cool. I don't know if that's poetic justice or what that is. Does inflation and the looming prospect of recession have you worried about your savings? Endowments, pension funds, and the ultra-wealthy have been quietly investing in farmland for decades, and it's paying off for them. Farmland returns have averaged 11% per year for the last 30 years, even despite the dot-com crash, Great Recession, and COVID-19. When inflation goes up, so too does farmland value. Until recently, farmland investments have mostly been accessible only to institutions and elites. Acre Trader breaks this barrier. Acre Trader makes it easy to invest in thoroughly reviewed farm offerings, quickly and securely. Their team of agriculture experts does all the work while you collect passive income from your farmland investment. So put your money in a time-tested asset by visiting acretrader.com, or you can call 888-958-1470 and tell them O'Reilly sent you. That's acretrader.com. All right, let's go to LA County. Hey, did you know that movie stars are hiring security at a record rate, according to the Hollywood Reporter? So the big security firm out there is called World Protection Group. Business has doubled since January, okay, because there are high-profile break-ins in the biggest states, in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, other neighborhoods where the movie stars live. Okay, robberies involving firearms up 57% in 2020 and more from 2020 so far this year. 57%. So crime in Los Angeles County, the largest county in the country, is out of control. And there was a recall effort to get the DA, George Gascon, a socialist, progressive, doesn't want to put criminals in jail, recalled. Well, they got the signatures, 715,000 to recall him, but now the California Government Elections Board has thrown out about 200,000 of those signatures, saying they're no good. All right, so here's the breakdown. 88,000 signatures to recall George Gascon were not from registered voters. 44,000 duplicates, that means people signed twice. 32% different addresses. They didn't put down our current address. 9,500 mismatched signatures. I don't know what that means. 7,000 were canceled. I don't know what that means. 5,000 out of county addresses. You had to be in LA County, sign a petition. 9,300, the category of other. So joining us now is a guest we've had before. Kathleen Cady is in Southern California. She is the chair, co-chair of the recall District Attorney George Gascon, former LA Deputy District Attorney. So is a fix in here, Ms. Cady? You think this is bogus? Is there corruption involved?
Well, we don't know. And that's, of course, what we are hoping to find out. So we will be insisting on our right to inspect. According to the law, I believe we've got about 21 days to start that process. And so we do intend to go through and look at what they have said are not valid signatures, which they have thrown out. And should we find that there has been anything that seems to be untoward, then, of course, we will look at what our next steps can be. But
let's just walk through it. We'll walk through it. So you're about 40,000 signatures light now to get this on the ballot, right? About 40,000. That's not a lot. Can you refile and start the process all over again?
Well, theoretically, we could. I do not think that will happen because, of course, the election is going to be coming up in 2 years, and so the process to actually go through a recall of, raising the money and getting all the people and doing the
Okay.
petition, all of that, it takes time. So
All right.
I
So
think,
Gascon is safe now unless you find out that the election board didn't do its job properly, correct?
correct. And it's the registrar recorder of Los Angeles County. So yeah, assuming they followed the law is what it is. And that's been our objection to Gascon all along, is that he is not really following the law. He's going ahead and issuing his various policies, which violate the law, which is what has endangered so many people in LA County. And as you point out, many of the wealthy people can go ahead and hire security guards, but the people who
Sure.
live in disenfranchised communities don't
They
have that
can.
luxury.
You should have gotten 3 million signatures because the situation's so bad and Gascon is so bad. I was surprised that you didn't get more than, and you got a lot. I mean, more than 700,000. A lot of people, to sign a petition. But if it were, I was going, how could anybody not sign it? It's insane.
Well, I agree, but I will say, having been one of those people who was out gathering signatures, we had people throughout the entire county for months doing this work. And as I understand it, this is the highest number of signatures that has ever been gathered anywhere for this
Yeah.
kind of recall. So the fact that we were able to get almost 717,000 signatures submitted it was a huge feat. It was always going to be a heavy lift. We knew it was a heavy lift, and we
Why?
had
Why
confidence.
did you know it was a heavy lift? I don't know why. I mean, it's so bad. There's no two sides to the story.
Well, I agree there's no two sides to the story, but still you have to get people out there. You've got to, it's not something that can be done online. So you've got to be out in the
Yeah,
community.
you got to knock on the door, and they got to take the time to
Right.
sign it and go into the businesses and whatever. All right, look, Ms. Cady, we appreciate your patriotism and trying to do the right thing to protect the citizens in the area in which you live. Please keep us posted if you find there's any shenanigans going on. If they didn't do the right thing, certainly you can file a federal lawsuit against them and make their lives a living hell if they did do something illegal here. And we would like to know, you got 3 months, you say, to review this whole thing?
No, we have 21 days to start the
3
process.
weeks.
So,
3 weeks.
right.
Okay.
So of course, we have many questions in, and we're assembling a team to go in and start looking through and do what we can, which is to inspect.
All right. Thanks, Ms. Cady. We appreciate it. Good luck to you. So this week is the anniversary, 1 year of the Afghanistan debacle. So 1 year ago, I did a commentary on this program, the No Spin News. And I think this commentary, well, let me play it for you, and then you can tell me what you think. Go. So he was for nation building. He wanted it. Did you hear that in his speech yesterday? Did he say, well, I was wrong in 2002, trying to build a democratic nation out of a tribal society, which is never going to work. And those of us who understand Afghanistan know that. But you don't allow a foreign policy catastrophe. You don't allow it. He did, on his watch. And now our main enemies in the world, China, Taiwan, you don't think China's going, Taiwan, we want that. What's Biden going to do? Russia, Ukraine, we want that. What's Biden going to do? And Iran going, hey, we're going to get that nuke because he's not going to stop us, right? And if that China-Taiwan thing heats up, Biden's going to have to fight them. He's going to have to. And that's a world war. Okay, I'll remind you that obviously I was talking at the top of that about President Biden, who in 2002, he was all for going into Afghanistan and building a democratic nation. But then he pulls out in a irresponsible way, leading immediately to the deaths of 13 American service people. And now I think that I'm clairvoyant. So China, Taiwan, we have today. Putin, Ukraine. Remember, this was a year ago I said that. There wasn't any Putin, Ukraine. Remember that? Okay? So I saw clearly what that Afghanistan withdrawal was going to lead to, and it has. Now, the only reason I'm telling you this, and it's an important reason, is because we are a subscription-based service. I know millions of you are watching us on TV and listening on the radio, but BillO'Reilly.com, the news agency that puts out our news product, is paid for by subscriptions. Okay? And I'm telling people all over the world, very few places are going to give you honest analysis and honest reportage. And it's important to your life. And I'm going to demonstrate that right now. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Things are very tough in America, as we all know. Gas prices up 59%, food up 10%. And have you taken a look at your cable bill recently? Some of us are paying more than $150 a month. That's why I am excited about the streaming platform VidGo, V-I-D-G-O. VidGo gives you the freedom to be entertained at a price you can afford. VidGo has all of my favorite live sports networks. They have a great choice of news programming, including The First, Newsmax, OAN, and Fox. VidGo also has more than 100 channels of entertainment. All of that for just $59 a month for the base package, $79 for the premium package. You deserve the freedom to be entertained at a price you and your family can afford. Please sign up at vidgo.com/bill. All right, here is the final thought of the day. So everybody has bad days, okay? And type A personalities like me, we don't roll with the bad days the way we should. All right, we're not mellow. The wind chimes don't help us. The incense doesn't help. So the genesis of the bad day yesterday was a lot of people, not all work, but repair people and other people not doing what they were supposed to do. So it's like an avalanche. It just starts slow and then it gets worse and worse and worse and this and that. And I'm so unbelievably busy. I have a good support staff and team. But if something goes wrong, and then it cascades, all right? And if I have to get directly involved, as I did getting the lights on in my house, I had to get directly involved in that because I couldn't get the electrician in. Now, the guy they sent today was great. And he fixed it in 10 minutes. It took 4 weeks to get it. 4 weeks. So I remember yesterday, I was like steam coming out of my ears, and I had to pick up supper. So I got in my car, and I drove about a quarter mile to the restaurant, and I forgot my wallet because I was so distracted. So I pulled the car over to the side of the road, and I yelled for 45 seconds. I just yelled in the car. Nobody there with me. And I felt better. I felt better. So, you know, you got to have a sense of humor about it. That's the best way to deal with it, unless it's a medical thing and it's really, you know, where you get in an accident. I mean, you know, this stuff was just a bunch of little stuff that mounted and mounted and mounted and mounted. And then finally, I forget my wallet, okay? And in New York, on Long Island, if you don't have a wallet, that's not a good thing. So anyway, today was a much better day. The lights are on, all of that stuff. Everything seems to be under control. But my schedule from 7:30 in the morning until about 4:30 in the afternoon, nonstop. You know, I should be out playing golf or miniature golf because I'm a terrible golfer. But no. Yeah. Anyway, we're working on our program tomorrow. It's going to be a really good one. We are very pleased you're watching us in the middle of August. It's the slowest time for news, but very important stuff going on. Thank you, and we will see you tomorrow. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates skyrocketing. We all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of J.P. Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers. They're the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532.